Arithmetic sequences series, page 5. Jackie's playing a game. The first time he passes the square collect, he gets $100. The second time he passes, he gets 110. He gets 10 more each time he passes the square collect, so 120, etc. Find out how much he gets when he passes the square collect for the 10th time. Well, if this is U1 and this is U2, what's U10? Okay, so how do you find U10? U10 is equal to U1 plus n minus 1 times d. What's d? D is the distance between these two, 10. Okay, it's the common difference. So U1 is 100 plus n minus 1, and we know that n minus 1 is 10 minus 1, and d is 10. So what's U10? 100 plus 9 times 10 is 190. Okay? So the answer to the first one is 190. Calculate how much he gets in total if he passes the collect square. If he passes the square collect 15 times. Okay, so in this case, they're asking how much he gets in total. So that doesn't mean U15, right? If it was U15, that's how much he gets the 15th time he passes it, but only the 15th time. Now, if they want to know the total, after he passes 15 times, that's U1 plus U2 plus U3 all the way to plus U15. And what is that called? That's called S15. So S15 is equal to n divided by 2 times U1 plus U15. Or you could also write that, you could expand U15, and instead of U15 you could write U1 plus n minus 1 times d, right? I think it's easier just to find U15 first and then you substitute it in. So what's U15? U15 equals U1 plus n minus 1 times d. U1 is 10, and in this case is 15 minus 1, which is 14. D is 10, right? So that would be 200 and, no, I'm sorry. It would be 140 plus 10, which is 150. Okay, so U15 is 150. So what is S15? S15 would be 15 divided by 2 times U1, which is 10, plus U15, which is 150. So that would be 15 times 160 divided by 2, and if you do that in your calculator, you'll get something like 80 times 15. Okay, you can do that. All right, I'll leave that for you to do. A small cinema has 25 rows of seats. The first row has 18 seats. Second row has 2 more seats than the previous one, 22. Okay, what about the 10th row? Okay, so this is the first row, this is the second row, this is the third row. 10th row, how many? So the 10th row is equal to the first row plus n minus 1 times d. N minus 1 is 10 minus 1, is 9. D is, you can see the difference between each of these is 2, right? So the difference is 2. And U1 is the first row, which is 18. Okay, so it would be 18 plus 9 times 2. Find the total number of seats in the cinema. And be careful, the cinema doesn't have 10 rows, it has 18 rows. Okay, and it wants the total number of seats, so it doesn't want the number of seats in the 18th row. It wants to know the number of seats in U1 plus U2 plus U3 plus all the way to U18. The easiest way to do that is you take the formula for S18, and I think it's easier just to find the number of seats in the 18th row first. So let's find that first. U18 is equal to the first row plus n minus 1 times d. N minus 1 is 18 minus 1, which is 17. D is 2, right? Because there's a difference of 2 seats every row. So that's equal to, the first row is 18 plus 17 times 2, which is 34, right? Okay. And if you add those up, 34 plus 18 is something like 52. Okay, So let's do this now. N is 18 rows because that's the total size of the cinema. 18 divided by 2, and then U1 is 18, and U18 we just found is 52, right? So you just add those two together. 52 plus 18 is something like 70 times 9, and I'll leave that for you to figure out. Okay, the second term of arithmetic sequence is 2, and the ninth term is negative 19. Find the common difference, find the first term of the sequence, calculate the sum of the first 60 terms. Okay, so common difference is D, first term of the sequence is U1, and the sum of the first 60 terms is S60, right? And what did they give us? They gave us that the second term is equal to 2, and the ninth term is equal to negative 19. That's kind of some strange data. We're going to need some algebra here to figure out what D is, what U1 is, right? So let's see. If we have U2 and U9, we can easily write equations to show that U2 equals U1 plus 2 minus 1, which is 1 times D, and U9 is equal to U1 plus n minus 1, which is 9 minus 1, which is 8, times D. And then we can substitute in U2 we know is 2, and U9 we know is negative 19. Okay, so now we have two equations, two unknowns. We have 2 equals U1 plus D, and we have negative 19 equals U1 plus 8D. And there's a couple ways to do this. There's substitution, there's subtracting equation, there's using the calculator. Let's use the calculator. I'll show you how to do this on the calculator. The important thing on the calculator is to arrange this very carefully so that each variable is in a column by itself. Okay, so I arrange it like this. I put two equations, two unknowns, and then I'm going to go to a app called PolySMLT, and then I hit enter, and then I'm going to go to simultaneous equation solver, which is number 2, and then I'm going to say two equations and two unknowns, which is the default, and then I press this for next. Then I'm going to put in these numbers for the coefficients. So here I have 1u1, 1u1. It doesn't say 1u1, but when you don't have anything multiplied times it, it's not 0, it's 1, right? This is 1d and 8d. So the numbers I'm going to put in are 1, 1, 1, 8, and 2, negative 19. Okay? I'm going to put these 6 numbers in here. So I'm going to put 1, and I'm going to put 1, and then I put 1, and I put 8, and then for these I put 2, and I put negative 19. And then I hit solve, and it's going to give me the solutions, which it says the solution, the first variable it says is equal to 5. And the second variable, which is D, is equal to negative 3. So I just found 5, U1 equals 5, and D equals negative 3. Now it asks me to calculate the sum of the first 60, terms. So remember, to find the sum of the first 60 terms, the best thing to do is first find the 60th term, which is U60. U60 is U1, which is 5, plus 60 minus 1, which is 59, times D, which is negative 3. Okay, so let's find that value first. It's 5 plus 59 times negative 3. Let's get out of PolySMLT. We don't need it anymore. So we take 5 plus negative 59 times no, it's not negative 59, it's 59 times negative 3. Okay. That's equal to negative 172. So U60 is negative 172. S60 is equal to U1 plus U60 times n divided by 2. So that would be equal to U1, remember, is 5 plus negative 172 times n, which is 60, divided by 2. So I'll let you add these together and multiply. 60 divided by 2. 60 divided by 2 is just 30, right? So it's actually going to be negative 167 times 30. Okay, I'll let you do that. Find the sum of the arithmetic series, negative 7, negative 2, all the way to 238, and we don't know what term that is. Well, we know that U1 is negative 7. What's the common difference? Well, we can easily figure that out because they give us several examples. From negative 2 to 3, the difference is plus 5, so we'll say that D is 5. And we know that UN is equal to 238. Find the sum of this arithmetic series. So to find the sum, we first need to know what n is, right? So to find out what n is, we have an equation that can do that for us, which is this. Well, there's only 2 equations, so there's not too much doubt on which equation you're going to use. UN is 238, U1 is negative 7, n is unknown, and D is 5. So let's see, we subtract 5 from both sides. No, we don't. We add 7 to both sides. Now see, I was about to make an algebra mistake there, but it's pretty easy to see that that was not the right thing to do when I write it out. 238 plus 7 is 245. N minus 1 times 5. So first I divide 245 by 5, so I get n minus 1 equals 245 divided by 5 is about 49. And n minus 1 equals 45, add 1 to both sides, n equals 50. Okay, so we know n is 50, so actually what we want is s of 50. This is now not too bad because we're just going to do n divided by 2 equals u1 plus u50, right? So it would be n divided by 2 is 50 divided by 2. U1 is negative 7. And U50 is 238. Okay? So that's it. I'll let you do that, 50 divided by 2, and then you multiply, or you add these two together. 238 minus 7 is 231. 231 times 25. Okay? And that's it for this section.